All right, Derek Shapiro here at Competition Shooting Supplies here in Pawtucket. And we have John Francis, the owner. We have 6 minutes of recording time. And John, what's the latest information you could share with our viewers? And I know people's been wondering why I haven't been having this segment on in the beginning of the year because our lives are so busy. He's a busy guy. His commercial's still on, of course, you know, but his segment hasn't been on recently because both us meeting at different times. He's a very busy guy. So, John, what's going on, the latest thing?
So, as you know, a lot of you folks who are pro-gun out there hopefully were aware, there was some very serious gun control bills that were being proposed for this year in Rhode Island. The worst of them being the assault weapons ban, which would have essentially ended gun sales in the state. The broad definitions that they putting forth on what constituted a potential assault weapon would have included virtually anything semi-automatic, whether it was a handgun, rifle, or shotgun. They would have graciously allowed you to keep what you own, but should something happen to you, the registered owner of those guns, your family would not be allowed to keep them. So they would have to get them out of state to a dealer where they were legal, or end up basically forfeiting them to the police or any dealers that might happen to be left open. Fortunately, for whatever reason, no gun control passed at all when the session ended back in June. So we can breathe easy for the next 6 months. But they will be back in force come January of next year, and they're going to continue to try and pass this stuff. For you folks in Massachusetts, there is an extremely dangerous bill that is moving along as we speak. I don't have all the particulars on it, but when I was out in Ohio shooting the Nationals, I did speak with a number of Massachusetts guys that I traveled out there with. And if you thought the bills in Rhode Island were bad, this thing will end the shooting sports in Massachusetts.
Wow.
It's literally the nail in the coffin. So it's going to be an outright ban, and not just on sales, but on possession. So they're talking about going back, and even though folks had like AR-15s and AKs and, you know, so-called assault weapons, because Massachusetts registers everything. So they know who owns what and where they live. So this new bill would eliminate that grandfather clause, and hundreds of thousands of folks will become felons overnight unless they turn in all their stuff for no compensation whatsoever. Wow. That's government theft of private property is what that is. It will literally shut down all the gun sales. It'll make it almost impossible for gun clubs to operate. It's just a bad bill all around. So you Massachusetts folks, contact your representatives, your state senators. Tell them to vote against this nonsense. You know, you got some of the toughest gun laws anywhere in the country. You don't need any more.
Exactly.
So other than that, there are a number of gun cases moving along at the federal level. In Massachusetts, here in Rhode Island with the mag ban, New York, Illinois, Maryland, California, Oregon, Washington. You know, some we appear to be doing quite well, others not so much. Ultimately, the U.S. Supreme Court of the United States is going to have to take up some of these cases and give everybody an answer once and for all what is legal and what's not.
Sure.
Because there's too much confusion going on out there, and so the SCOTUS has to put their foot down, and so this way, once they do that, then the states and the federal government and Congress will have a better idea of what they can and cannot do. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you, John Francis, over here at Competition Shooting Supplies here in Pawtucket. Address again is
435 Benefit Street.
And phone number again.
401-727-1716. And my email is compshooting@cox.net.
All right, John Francis, Derek Shapiro. Look at that, back together.